live from the hood. Welcome back and welcome to the second episode of What You Need to Hear from the Herd. Like we said before, I'm Hallie Jones.
I'm Maddie Travigal.
And we are juniors here at Holcomb High School.
We'll be talking to Mr. Johnson first, and he will be going more into detail about standard-based grading and why we use it.
Okay, so we're here with Mr. Johnson, and one of our first main initiatives of what we wanted to discuss was standards-based grading. So my first question is, why did Holcomb decide to implement standards-based grading?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's one that we get quite a bit. This kind of process started about 2.5 years ago, and really what it was is we started looking at how our kids are doing in school with GPAs, and then comparing that against what we were seeing with ACT data and state assessment data and FastBridge data, and it wasn't correlating. And really what we started to see is we were having students with really good GPAs, but we weren't performing very well on some of our state assessment tests, and some of our ACT testing and our FastBridge testing wasn't the same. So we started looking to see a little bit about why that was taking place. And there's a kind of an educational phenomenon going out there that they call grade inflation, and really that's just where our GPAs are a little bit higher than what we're scoring on the standardized testing. So we really look to dig in and see how is it that we can change something to more accurately reflect what we're seeing with some of those others testing. And so standards-based grading was one of the avenues out there that we looked at, and we, for about 2.5 years, met with different people, looked and see what it was about, and our teachers really bought into this was a good way for us to really chase after and see the level of understanding of our students.
So I think the biggest question a lot of students and parents probably have is, what is the purpose of standards-based grading? You kind of touched over it already, but
yeah, the biggest purpose of standards-based grading is we truly want to see where the level of learning is at for each individual kid. Mm-hmm. And that's tough to do whenever you add in extra credit or participation points or homework assignments, or whenever you put all those grades in together, it kind of clouds, and actually the picture becomes cloudy of where the actual student's level of learning's at. If we can remove some of that stuff and you actually see where the level of learning's at of the student through assessments, then you can provide the interventions for it. And so truly it's about the understanding. We're chasing understanding because if students can understand the concepts and the standards better, then it translates over to our state testing better and our ACT testing better. So truly the whole purpose behind standards-based grading is really focusing on the understanding of the standards by the students.
Nice. So what are some big results that we want to see with standards-based grading?
And that's probably the biggest question you're going to get from everybody is, well, is this really going to help us out? The answer is, like, we don't know for sure, right? But we do know this is if we're chasing understanding, we got to think that if we're working harder on understanding the standards, then it should pay off in the long run that our test scores increase in the ACT. It should increase in our state assessment scores. We're already seeing some good stuff taking place in FastBridge, but that's not necessarily just standards-based grading. That's some of the other initiatives that we're doing. So, to be quite honest, we don't know, but we project because of all the things that we're doing, we can predict that our scores should increase over time. Truly what we're seeing though right now is our students are working harder, and I know it's tougher. It is, and that's one of the things that I hear a lot is this is tougher. It is tougher. It should be a little bit tougher. If we want to get better at something, you have to put more effort into it. And so it's tougher on teachers, it's tougher on students, but the more we get better at it, the likelihood of our scores increasing should go up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, thank you for touching on that topic. I know that is a common topic that is commonly talked about, so thank you for providing more information on that. Another question that we had from our QR code was, what are some available apps that we have for some school information and activities?
The biggest way that we put information out is either an alert now. We'll go out through an email system that we have. We do email all students all the time as far as weekly stuff that's taking place. For community members, Facebook page, there's a Holcomb High School Facebook page. We update that constantly with all the updated games and activities and how kids are doing and stuff like that. I do have a Twitter profile or page or whatever you call that thing. So you can look my name up on Twitter, and I post things every once in a while about things that the kids are doing and stuff like that. So those are probably the best way that we try to get information out there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Johnson.
Our next speaker is Mrs. Johnson, and she is going to be going more into detail and depth about senior information and state assessments.
So we're here with Mrs. Johnson, and she's going to go over some more information and monthly reminders for this month. So let's start with state assessments.
State assessments are coming up. Just another quick reminder, those will occur after spring break, and that applies to current sophomores. They'll be taking the English language arts and math assessments. And then also current juniors will be taking the science state assessments. Again, that's after spring break, and we'll get more information out on that as that comes up.
Okay, so remember that those are coming up. The next thing that she wanted to go over was course selections and dual credit enrollment.
We had a great turnout for our course selection nights that we hosted in February. The course selection tool in PowerSchool has now closed, so I am working on gathering all of those requests from you. As I work through those, I may have some questions, and we'll reach out by email to students individually. We have dual credit enrollment coming up on Wednesday, April 3rd. That will be for students that are looking to enroll in dual credit classes through Garden City Community College for the fall of 2024. Side note on that, if you're interested in taking summer dual credit, that enrollment will open up at the beginning of March, and you need to reach out to me so we can schedule some time to fill out that paperwork.
Okay, perfect. And then the last thing would be seniors, their grades in FAFSA.
Seniors, the countdown is on. This spring will go by very, very quickly. Please make sure you're working hard to keep up with assignments and assessments, relearning and reassessment plans if you have to use them. Keep those grades up and be diligent in staying caught up on your work. In regards to financial aid, if you are planning to attend college in the fall, please make sure that you have submitted your FAFSA. The free application for federal student aid. Most of those priority deadlines with schools have been pushed out a bit because of the new updated application. Just please make sure you're staying on top of that, and if you need help, reach out.
Perfect. Okay, and then if you have any additional questions for Mrs. Johnson, just feel free to ask.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
Our last speaker is Mr. Novak. He will be talking about upcoming sporting events and activities.
Okay, so I'm here with Mr. Novak now, and he's going to firstly start us off with talking about some winter sports results.
Yes, we just wrapped up our winter sports season, and it was a very successful winter sports season for all of our athletes and our coaches. We'll start with wrestling first. We had 3 athletes qualify for the state wrestling in Salina, and both Hagen Hartman and Kinsey Simon, both freshmen that made it, which is a very cool and successful thing for them as freshmen. Both went 1 and 2, so had a really good state tournament. Just came up a little short on that end. And then we had Greg Martinez, senior, who finished 3rd at the state wrestling championship. So hats off to him. And not only did he get 3rd, but he's also asked to compete in the Kansas Shrine Duels, which will be held on March 17th. Bowling, we also had 3 athletes that qualified for the state bowling championships in Wichita. We had Blake Dryden, Emily Dryden, and Braden Baston. Emily Dryden, they medaled the top 20, placed 17th, and then Braden Baston finished 2nd. So had 2 state medalists in bowling this year. Basketball wise, We just finished up hosting the sub-state in our area, and it was a really, really successful sub-state due to the fact that we had so many people help and make that a successfully ran tournament. A packed house. Students were amazing. We had a big student participation in the student section. Our band got a lot of compliments. Our cheer, dance team, just had a really, really good showing for Holcomb athletes in that. But to finish the season, the boys lost in the semis, and they had finished their season 14-8, and the girls lost in the championship game to Goodland, and they finished their season 17-6. So a really good showing for all of our winter sports this winter. On to the spring.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
we're going to talk about spring activities and sports that are upcoming.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of opportunities for students to participate in some spring activities this year. We have boys golf, girls swimming. We've got baseball, we got softball, we got boys and girls track. We also have forensics going on right now as well. So when we look at all these things, many opportunities for kids to be involved. And when we come back from spring break, we have, our spring season schedule is really, really busy and it's kind of hectic, but all of these sports and activities will be in full force when we come back from spring break. Along with that, we have home event. A big one for our school is League Forensics on March 21st. Holcomb is hosting that. It's on a Thursday, and the event will begin at 2:30 here at Holcomb High School. Then we also have high school cheer and dance tryouts on March 25th and March 26th. So if you are interested, please get a hold of Bridget Plunkett here at the high school. So yeah, we are getting ready to hit our spring sports full force. So excited to see all the kids participating and being involved.
Great. Thank you, and good luck to all those participating.
Thanks for watching this month's episode of What You Need to Hear from the Herd.
Like always, if you have any questions, scan this QR code right here, ask the questions, and we'll answer those in next month's videos.